I'm Tom Simmer, and welcome to this episode of Game On. Game On is your new destination for game reviews, tips, tricks, and tutorials. We house the highest quality gaming videos on the net. Today we're spotlighting King of Fighters 12. This game offers evolved 2D visuals, sticking to a traditional graphical viewpoint. Both the characters and the motion have been enhanced by a new rendering technology. This was done to deliver you smooth fighting and improved overall gameplay. SNK's King of Fighters series has been around for many years and has stood as one of the only contenders to Capcom's legendary series Street Fighter. Now let's take you to GameOn Spotlight for this game's good, bad, and ugly.
Hi, I'm Antonia Naglieri. Welcome to the GameOn Spotlight. Today we're spotlighting King of Fighters 12. This game gets a little right and a lot wrong. The gameplay is solid, the characters are well balanced and enjoyable to use with a little practice. The new additions to the game's mechanics add uniqueness to the flow of the battles, and of course, it's pretty. SNK did a fantastic job with the game's visuals and feel. But that's where the praise ends. Everything else feels a bit unpolished. There are only two modes, Versus and Arcade, which consists of short series of 3-on-3 time trial fights, and no character-relevant cutscenes. Yes, that means no endings. You wouldn't know it by playing the game, but the King of Fighters series actually has a massive amount of backstory. Leaving it out entirely makes little to no sense. There are no usable unlockables, no stages or additional characters, only game art. No boss characters and very few stages, and the online play feels a bit convoluted. If you're playing alone, there is very little to do besides run through the arcade with various teams or skip the pointless, poorly voiced cutscenes by doing the exact same thing in Versus. Basically, if you're looking for a solid fighting game to play with friends locally, then this game makes a very playable addition to your collection. You'll enjoy it. If you're looking for anything else, you might want to look elsewhere. Now, let's take it to the GameOn Sensei for some tips on gameplay.
Hi, I'm Bill Campbell, I'll be your GameOn Sensei for SNK's King of Fighters 12. Now, there's nothing innovative about the control scheme. If you're familiar with Street Fighter or any of the other previous incarnations of King of Fighters, there's nothing new to talk about here. The three major additions to the gameplay for King of Fighters 12, deadlocks, critical counters, and the critical counter finish. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is run you through the new features of the game as well as the new lead of the franchise, Ash Crimson. Very strategic character. All his special moves have a use. First off, we have Genie, a set of trap-like fireballs that can be thrown at a range of distances from the character. He's got a nice fireball. The strong version is a two-hitter as well as an aerial counter. Special moves, he's got one that's a stronger version of the aerial counter as well as a fireball, which is useless outside of the critical finish because it leaves you open at the beginning and the end. Next up we have Deadlock. Deadlock happens when characters throw similar strength attacks at the same time. What happens is you will clash, you'll have a nice effect, and then you will separate as well as take a bit of damage. Next up we have the critical counter. This happens when you perform a deadlock when your critical counter bar is full. What happens is you stun the character, you get to perform a barrage of attacks, and you can finish it up however you'd like. The damage is usually pretty good. Now, next up we have the critical counter finish. Critical counter finish occurs when you perform a super special move at the exact instance of a critical counter. The damage is vastly increased, and you get a nice golden flash special effect.
Alright, well that's it for today. Upload your own video responses by clicking on the Upload tab. Tell us what you think about the spotlighted game, or even if you have some gaming tips and tricks of your own. We'll be answering responses. Join us next time, right here on Game On.